They'll greet you with warm smiles while secretly preparing blades in the shadows. Not out of necessity, but simply because the opportunity exists. In this environment, betrayal is never random. It's calculated. Individuals will observe your habits, imitate your generosity, and reflect your drive just sufficiently to gain proximity. Once they've extracted everything useful, they either disappear or, even worse, transform you into a platform for their own advancement. You've experienced that sudden sting when a person you relied on turned your faithfulness into a tool against you. That hollow quiet when those you supported refused to stand by you in return. This isn't misfortune, it's the authentic nature of existence. The majority aren't designed to elevate others. They're wired to rival, to seize, to outsmart. Direct attacks aren't always their method. Certain types will cheer as you suffer. Others will treat your suffering as a spectacle. The instant you drop your guard and reveal vulnerability, they label you as easy prey. Believing that moral uprightness alone will shield you is a mistake. Society doesn't honor innocence. It examines it, twists it, and ultimately monetizes it. You were raised to be polite, yet the system grooms its victors to be calculating. You were instructed that truthfulness is admirable, but honor without authority is a grave. You were advised to pardon everyone, yet absolution without limits invites repeated treachery. The purpose of this presentation isn't fairness, it's intelligence. It's about grasping the true mechanics of influence and recognizing why those who ascend aren't necessarily the most gifted or ethical. They're the ones who comprehend the hidden dynamics. That's the role Machiavelli plays. His insights were never intended to soothe. They were forged for endurance. For individuals navigating a reality where deception comes with grins and ruin arrives wrapped in allure. To endure in such a space, to surpass it, goodness alone won't suffice. You must remain vigilant, detached, tactical, immovable. Here, I'll present 7 principles inspired by Machiavelli that will fortify your thinking and hone your reflexes. These are mental armaments, instruments for persistence. They'll disturb the fragile and rouse the ready. If you've endured disloyalty, deception, or dismissal, consider this your pivotal moment. Because once you absorb what follows, you won't merely become more resilient to harm, you'll be beyond anyone's grasp. Let's start. Rule 1. Dominate your public persona without mercy. How others perceive you outweighs actual reality. Machiavelli stated, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." This wasn't a caution, it was equipment. In our society, your outward impression carries greater weight than your inner truth. Most never probe beyond the exterior, and when they do, they perceive what suits their expectations, not the facts. That's why your persona demands construction with the accuracy of a blade, not for trickery, but for safeguarding. You might possess wisdom, strength, and threat, yet if you project ordinariness, you'll be handled as expendable. That's precisely when they attack. Your persona isn't ornamentation. It's concealment, it's shielding, it's diversion. When others think they've decoded you, their scrutiny relaxes. And during that lapse, you advance. Cease revealing your complete intentions. In chess, strategies aren't declared. They're used to lure, confuse, ensnare. Your exterior must form a story you direct, a diversion, a shield separating your essence from their assumptions. The less visible your authentic self, the more impregnable you grow. Avoid justifying yourself. Any justification creates a vulnerability in your defenses. The second you rationalize choices to those beneath your caliber, you open a doorway to your thoughts. Allow their judgments. Permit their rumors. Their chatter serves as your shield. Never plead for comprehension. Reality doesn't prize honesty. It prizes deception. Craft yours with sharpness, intent, precision. Avoid being the most vocal in any setting. Become the least decipherable. Maintain their uncertainty while you implement. Let them view you as basic while you develop intricacy. Openness is a snare. It's an indulgence you can't permit. The more they understand, the simpler it becomes to anticipate, influence, or dominate you. Even your benevolence, unmanaged, can be turned against you. Safeguard your inner layers. Shield your feelings. Communicate sparingly. Project serenity. Observe extensively. If they choose to undervalue you, excellent. Permit it. The wolf doesn't correct the sheep for calling it harmless. It simply bides its time. Now place this affirmation in the comments. I dictate what they perceive. I disclose only what I select. Rule 2. Never depend on allegiance. Construct influence instead. Allegiance feels pleasant until it collapses. It seems secure until it fractures. The common error is viewing allegiance as a connection. It isn't. It's an agreement in disappearing ink, vanishing the instant convenience ends. Individuals aren't devoted to you. They're devoted to their requirements. And when those requirements shift, their devotion follows. Expect that. You've likely witnessed it. Those who vowed eternal commitment evaporate when discomfort arises. Those you supported at personal expense won't glance back when it inconveniences them. That's not disloyalty. That's instinct. No need to mourn it. Adaptation is required. Influence is allegiance evolved. While allegiance relies on faith, influence relies on strength. Strength endures when feelings fluctuate. It persists, it maintains, it directs. You don't request retention, you ensure departure carries excessive cost. That's authentic strength. Machiavelli expressed it plainly. The vow made was a requirement of yesterday. The vow broken is a requirement of today. People act based on current demands. They'll pledge anything when requiring you and violate everything when they don't. Cease pursuing allegiance. Begin gathering influence. Understand their drives. Understand their flaws. Understand their dependencies, fears, goals. Avoid exploiting unless essential. But never overlook them. That's your authority. That's your safeguard. Bonds are delicate. Tactics are not. Genuine ties can persist, but never without limits. Never without vigilance. Extend allegiance only where consistently proven, and even then maintain safeguards. Individuals remain in partnerships, positions, coalitions not from devotion, but because exiting costs more than staying. That's influence's effect. It renders devotion rational, not sentimental. You grow irreplaceable, risky to oppose, unforgettable. Authority doesn't demand overt control. It demands steady, quiet pressure. Gentle cues that disloyalty carries repercussions. Silent knowledge that you possess levers they prefer untouched. That's your security. Now place this affirmation in the comments. Allegiance is voluntary. Influence is enduring. Rule 3. Remain perpetually ahead by 2 moves. Prioritize tactics over feelings. If they can provoke you, they can confine you. The instant emotion drives your actions. You surrender your greatest asset, command. Feelings aren't inherently negative, but unmanaged, they're hazardous. Reality ignores your emotions. It reacts to your actions. And if those actions are hasty, responsive, or noisy, you're not participating. You're being manipulated. Tactical individuals don't mirror common responses. They detect trends, monitor responses, prepare departures before issues emerge. They view every utterance as information, every pause as indication, every slight as revelation. Because they grasp this principle. The one who maintains composure dictates the rhythm. The one who dictates the rhythm dictates the result. Most exist in response mode. They retaliate when offended. They pursue resolution after deceit. They protect their reputation to irrelevant parties. True strategists avoid emotional snares. They allow chaos to fade while advancing quietly. Machiavelli cautioned early. A man who wants to act virtuously in every way necessarily comes to grief among so many who are not virtuous. In essence, playing honestly in a dishonest arena makes you not honorable. You're oblivious. Tactics aren't brutality, they're lucidity. Ruthlessness isn't required to prevail, but preparedness for it is. Staying 2 moves ahead ensures no surprises. You've mapped your retreat before their statement ends. You've anticipated deceit and accepted it. Victory comes via vigilance, not sentiment. Avoid broadcasting intentions, avoid publicizing progress, permit underestimation while you surpass silently. When deception occurs, record it. When outbursts happen, analyze exposed vulnerabilities. When provocation attempts, note their lack of command. Don't rage when identities reveal, utilize it. Transform truth into armament, forecast sequences, and continue advancing quietly. Now state in comments, I don't respond. I compute. I outflank. Rule 4. Authority is seized, not granted. Seek nothing, direct everything. Authority arrives not to waiters but to actors. Hoping respect comes from effort or virtue already eliminates you. Reality functions on supremacy, not equity. Supremacy isn't always boisterous or forceful. It's aura, it's assurance, it's subdued certainty prompting adaptation. Entering any space, no one cedes your position. Claim it or remain unseen. Speak with resolve or remain unheard. Humanity responds to potency, not clamor, not passion, but command. Waiting for consent diminishes you. Seeking acknowledgement erodes influence. Authority concerns placement, not endorsement. If disrespect occurs and you ignore it, you permit it. If value is dismissed and you overjustify, you validate their view. Don't articulate worth. Demonstrate it unapologetically, instantly. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." This doesn't demand cruelty. It means likability insufficient. Respect stems from fear of loss. Fear isn't solely intimidation. It's immovability. It's clarity that violation carries cost. Your aura demands deference, not via violence, but via irrefutable self-mastery. Don't request spatial respect, claim it. Don't await table invitation, overturn it. Construct yours and force observation. Embody the type who never states, "I'm valuable." Every aspect proves it. Every action reminds, approval isn't needed to proceed. Validation isn't required to guide. Crowns aren't awaited. They're forged via outcomes, endurance, subdued potency exceeding any label. Place this affirmation in comments. I claim what's mine. I don't plead, I construct. Rule 5. Conceal your suffering. Never expose blood to predators. When injured, scrutiny intensifies. They don't approach to aid. They approach to gauge wound depth because revealed frailty signals. Predators constantly monitor that signal. Publicly, they'll nod, extend false empathy, claim availability. Privately, they'll weaponize that data against your vulnerabilities. That's the arena. Participate or be exploited. Your suffering is holy, yours alone, not tender for false comforters. Vulnerability isn't owed, it's privilege. Privileges are earned, not distributed to charming pretenders. Displaying scars in unfit spaces provides destruction blueprints. Conceal them. Recover privately, reflect alone. Project steel regardless of internal fractures. Machiavelli never stated it outright, but embodied it. Leaders can't afford apparent frailty. He observed men lose all not from frailty, but from appearing frail. Perception kills. Once damage is believed, your liability. Authority and sympathy can't coexist. Pity eliminates fear. Without fear, they trample while feigning care. This isn't emotionlessness, it's mastery. Humanity needn't be entombed, just not served to devourers. Vulnerability holds worth when precise, not when uncontrolled. Share narratives post-mastery, not mid-tear. Remain publicly unbreakable. Even internally shattered, avoid online collapses. Avoid broadcasting struggles to unproven parties. Silence isn't frailty, it's sagacity. It maintains danger, it maintains impregnability. Place this affirmation in comments. My suffering is strength. My quiet is might. Rule 6. Harness others' cravings for command. Logic doesn't sway people, craving does. Facts, truth, outcomes mean nothing without desire alignment. Quickest control path isn't force, but core drive comprehension. Their profound yearning becomes tether. Identifying pursuits, attention, authority, wealth, endorsement, affirmation, grants guidance without force. Manipulation needn't be forceful, subtlety suffices. Offer desire glimpse, sufficient for taste. Then instill access routes through you. That's command, appears as chance. People pursue choice illusion, but menu designer already prevails. Machiavelli. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear. Today adds image, ego, seen needed admired sensation. Utilize it. Recognition thrivers receive sparse praise, maintaining approval addiction. Power cravers position near but outside. 1 inch from target, controls optimum. Threats unnecessary for devotion. Reward/removal capacity suffices. Awareness triggers orbiting, no pursuit, no demands. Guidance via propositions, not commands. Strongest influence is unseen, quiet, psychological. They'll believe self-directed, yet every action follows your desire framework. Mastery evident then. Employ allure, focus, quiet, entry, their cravings. Suspend, mold, arm. Puppet ignores strings. Place this affirmation in comments. I direct results via desire direction. Rule 7. Avoid excessive utility or accessibility. Rarity breeds regard. Greater visibility diminishes worth. Harsh reality most deny. Constant presence, excess giving, universal availability, expecting devotion or affection, yields expectations. Availability breeds permanence assumption. Assumption halts presence respect. Words ignored, worth unseen. You become ambient, dependable, substitutable, unseen. Worst, you taught that perception, not from lack of value, but over accessibility. Constant presence equals commonality. Commonality isn't revered, only earned rarity. What vanishes? Machiavelli. Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. All men have eyes, but few have the gift of penetration intentions. Value irrelevant. Over-availability deems you lesser. Reality prioritizes appearance until rarity compels substance attention. Excessive utility toolifies. Tools replaced by shinier. Cease universality. Cease universal response. Cease appearance for non-reciprocals. Generate separation. Time must be earned. Speech carries gravity, not volume, but rarity. Coldness unnecessary, intentionality required. Presence when critical. Retreat before permanence assumed. Absence louder than presence. Silence from you sparks construction curiosity. Invisibility felt. Mystery elevates. Silence tension builds. Limited presence reminds potency. Reality won't adapt, won't halt for suffering, won't honor truth or guard devotion. It tests, deceives, lies, then denies. That's existence. Cease fairness expectation to gain authority. You comprehend the arena. Seen subsurface. Deceptions, maneuvers, quiet conflicts behind false grins, hollow vows. Knowledge step 1. Application defines identity. Not here for popularity, Here to persist, surpass, dominate precisely, quietly. Victors adapt, not justice seek in unjust world. Lucidity edge, serenity shield, command armament. Remember, perception authority, endurance strategy dependent, not sympathy. Remain perilous, remain impregnable. Your turn. If resonant, don't nod scroll. Engage, like, subscribe, bell, channel prepares, not comforts. Mental combat taught, not motivation. Strategy trained, not positivity preached. Unstoppability goal, not feel good. Illusion stripped, manipulation decoded, thinking honed until unusable. Done being exploited. This your arena. Remain. Each video fortifies. Stronger, wiser, cooler, mentally perilous, emotionally impervious, socially impregnable. Welcome opposite side. Continue constructing.